Welcome to episode 186 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen
and Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for a virtual book club where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So, obviously, if you listened to last week, you know what we're going to talk about this week because we mentioned it.
Yeah.
But, kind of just wanted to chat about our summer book reads because I don't know about other places in the world. Like, normally I say September here is really nice, but the weather has taken a complete turn. Like, we had 30-degree weather a few weeks ago, and now I'm like, it is winter. It is freezing.
Yeah, it's like we had our heat pump. What do you call that thing that's hooked up in your house on the wall?
Yeah.
The heat cold thing.
Air exchanger is not right.
No.
There's heat pump. Yeah.
Maybe the heat pump. So, like, we've literally had that set to, like, 22, 23 degrees to make a nice ambient temperature in the living space. And I woke up this morning and the thing read 20. And I was like, what the fuck is this? 20 degrees.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold. I was chattering.
Yeah. I know. It's always in the morning. I'll wake up and I'm like, why is it so fucking cold? But I don't want to turn it on warm yet. I don't want to turn it on heat because I'm like not ready to give up summer.
I went to bed, was it last night or the night before, with my electric heater on, my electric fireplace on in my room.
Yeah.
I turned it on. I was too cold.
Mm.
And, like, I wore pants to bed. It was, like, the first time I've worn pants to bed in ages. Normally I wear shorts. But
yeah, I always wear shorts.
Not last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to get my warm blankets. Or, just turn the heat on in the house. But I don't want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes September is nice. Like, and it's really sunny out today, but it's still like 12 or 13 degrees or something.
Yeah, it's not warm out.
No, which kind of sucks. But that's not
it's not
what we're talking about.
It's not supposed to be. Our conversation is not on the weather.
No, although we could talk about the weather for ages. So yeah, Kristen, how did your book reading go over the summer? Did you get everything done you wanted to get done?
No.
Was this a happy sigh?
No. I didn't touch my book summer TBR.
No.
And, like, last summer I felt really accomplished in my reading goals. I think last summer I read maybe, like, 35 to 37 books.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, so last year, I believe, I had my yearly reading goal to be, like, I think 75-ish books was my reading goal last year. And I surpassed that easily. I think I got to like 82 or 83.
Yeah.
So I was like, this year, I'm not doing... I was doing my master's all of last year, and I still got to 82, 83 books. So in my brain, I was like, well, I'm going to be finished my master's in April, so that'll give me lots of time to read. And so I was like, I'll make my reading goal for the year 90 books. So that's my reading goal for this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, if last year I could read 35 books over the summer, this year I could probably do a bit more. I did less.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was just like, I couldn't. Actually, I do know why. So, like, I was doing a lot of Kindle Unlimited reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found that, like, and we've talked about this before, how, like, you want something specific, so you just, like, so for me, if I wanted something specific, I would just put in a search for what I was looking for, and then I would scroll through what came up, look at the synopsis, look at how many stars it had, and all of that, how many reviews, and read a few, and if it sounded good, I would get it, right?
Yeah.
And then I would start reading it. And, like, I'm pretty sure I had, like, 5 to 6 books that I just didn't finish. Because, like, they just didn't capture me the way I wanted them to.
Yeah, I find that happens a lot with the Kindle Unlimited. If it's not, and like I get them a lot of times from like Reels or TikToks, and
Yeah.
it's like you get that one scene that you're like, oh, this book is gonna be great, and then it's
Yes.
like, that's not what the book is, though. That's just the one scene.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I guess not like taking the time to read through some of those books and not finishing them really like wasted. I don't want to say wasted my time, but like I can't add those to my
Yeah.
can't add those to my book list because I didn't finish them.
Yeah.
So I'm annoyed with myself because according to Storygraph, I am 8 books behind if I want to finish, if I want to achieve my goal of 90 books by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I am 8 books behind. I only have, I think, 55. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get there. And I do dedicate a lot of my summer to getting my goal done because that's when I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But this year I was doing things and reading books that I didn't finish. So disappointed in myself.
The worst part I find with Kindle Unlimited is there's so much choice. There's so many options that I do start like 5 different books and then I don't finish any of them. And then my trial is over and I'm like, well, I read nothing. And I might have read like the equivalent of 2 books because I was reading a bunch of different books.
Yeah.
But you don't actually finish them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. It does. But, you know, it is what it is. And, like, I'm not really gonna, like, think too poorly of myself if I don't get to my 90 book goal. Like, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. But,
Yeah.
you know, I wanted to get there. If I don't, I don't. But, like, it was a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the summer just flew by. I don't really understand it. It's gone. Yeah, I guess summer is one of my busier times for work, so I don't usually get a whole lot of reading done. But I basically just put a bunch of holds on all of Allie Hazelwood's audiobooks in Libby. So then I ended up listening to most of them, I think, over the summer. They just like, I'd get one every few weeks or something and listen to those. I didn't do a whole lot of other reading than that. I think, but I did read like 6 or 7 of her audiobooks over the summer. And I really I had Kindle Unlimited for a minute, and I think I read like 4 books on it, but like I did the same thing you did. I read a book by actually Kelly Hart, but it's like a high school romance, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? She wrote Quicksilver, and I was like, I read it, and then I started the second one, and I was like, I can't keep reading about high school kids. Like, this is not.
Yeah, I will say it is really not my favorite reading about, like, and I feel like a lot of authors have started, like, making them, like, they're 18, they're legal adults, and I'm like,
yeah,
it doesn't make it better for me.
No. And I do kids start school later in the States?
Earlier, actually. Well, I think they start in, like, usually a lot of them start in, like, August.
Oh, weird.
But, like, do you mean, like, so that by the time they're in grade 12, they're 18?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't know that they started in August, though. That's interesting.
I think it depends on where you live. Like, I think, like, the middle and the south and maybe parts of the west. The East Coast, I think, is the same as us, like, starting in, like, beginning of September. But I think, because I read, well, I don't know if it was a TikTok I watched or something, but somebody explained that it was because they wanted the kids to get out earlier so that they could help with planting season or, like, harvesting season or something.
Yes.
And so then they went back early because it would be too hot to be in the fields anyway.
Interesting.
So they just kept it going with that. Yeah. I know.
Gotcha.
There's my fun fact of the day.
Yeah. So, what about this whole 18 thing? Do you know anything about that? Like, would they be 18 in?
Well, I think if they're in the second, like, the back half of the back, like, I mean, technically, they'll turn 18 come January.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that would be the same case for us, too.
Yes, that's true, isn't it? So there were people in high school that were 18, weren't there?
Yeah.
I don't really
just
remember.
Not
anyone.
us.
I don't really remember high school.
But, like, obviously it wasn't us because we didn't turn 18
Yeah.
until December and we were in university.
Yes.
So, like, you and I are special cases, but, you know, theoretically, half the population of kids would be turning 18 during senior year.
I just don't really remember. Well, I guess 18 and 19 are very different ages. Because, like, I do remember some people being 19 first year of university.
Yeah.
Because we would have been second year of university.
Yes.
We were 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Now, I do wonder, maybe they don't go to school till they're 6 in certain parts of the U.S. I have no idea.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure.
Well,
and, like, some people hold their kids back depending on what's going on, too. Like...
Yeah, I mean, at least here where we are, kindergarten is actually optional. Now, I would say 95 to 98% of people send their kids to kindergarten, but kindergarten for us is actually optional, and you can wait and just send your kid to grade 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to be...
Interesting.
If you did want to homeschool, you would need special approval from the school board. You would need to make sure you're teaching the right curriculum. You would need, like, to update the school every so often of, like, what your kid was doing. It's all very, like... You can't teach, like, whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you're homeschooling.
No, that makes sense.
So, yeah. So, the majority of people here do, like, I think, just go to school and they send their kids to school when the school board sort of tells them to, which is 5 years old. Turning 5 by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun times.
Anyway, I know that doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about, but, like...
No, but yeah, like, high school romances, yeah. I don't care for them anymore.
Yeah, it's just, like... I just get annoyed with the drama aspect of it. Because it's always like, oh, there's that mean girl and she won't let me be on the cheerleading squad and I just want to fit in.
Yes.
Either that or, like, the kids are theoretically, like, 18 years old, but then they act like they're 25. Yes. And it's like, if you wanted your character to act this way, make them 25. Like, why do you have to make them like they're in high school?
Yeah, I agree. And also, I was a dumbass in high school.
Who wasn't a dumbass in high school?
Yeah, so, you know.
I think we were all dumbasses, in all fairness. So, like...
Very true.
You know, this whole thing of, like, you know, I don't know. I do find a lot of the stuff that is written about high schoolers is like, that's not true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially when we're talking about, like, 18-year-old boys that are, like, so phenomenal at sex. And I'm like, I don't care who you are. There ain't no way. There ain't no way.
Well, yeah, not even just that, but, like, 18-year-old boys that are, like book boyfriends. And you're like, there's no way that this child has matured enough, more than most adult men, that they're like this, I don't know, this, not this good to women, but you know what I mean. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun times.
Super
It's our
fun.
summer of books.
Sorry. It's not a summer of love, it's a summer of books.
Always.
So I guess we'll get into this week's episode. So, just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone and things might get saucy.
So, this week is our third week with the Songbird and the Heart of Stone. 90% sure that's the right name.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're doing chapters 24 to 33. Last week, we got to Psyche, and before they could actually try to get the relic, we assume the king dies, and Asar starts to get his ear marks. And then, as he's getting the ear marks, Elias stabs him in a stupid way. You're like, was he trying to let him live? Like, is he just following or like? He could have killed him, but he didn't. It's just weird. So, Asar ends up falling in the river of blood, and then Mische just dives in basically after him because she's like, I care about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go through some of her like memories, and we're assuming that Asar is going through his own memories, but during her memories, she can kind of see Asar on like the edges of them. And she knows that something's not right. But the whole point of Psyche is that it wants to devour living things, so it wants to keep you stuck in your head, I think, so that you
don't notice it devouring you.
Yeah. So we get some like depressing parts of her life that we kind of were already getting in the interludes. Yeah. And basically at the very end of last week, there's a moment, and it was her and Malik, and he's like trying to seduce her, and then he turns into Asar, and Asar is kind of seducing her and even touching her, and then she kind of realizes, we think, that it's actually him and it's actually her. They're like in a dream, but they're both actually real, and they didn't really notice it, and when they do, they get pulled apart.
Yeah, they think that they're dreaming and hallucinating, but it's their actual physical bodies. It's like when you're sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Except they were whatever they were doing.
Touching, kissing.
Were they kissing though? Because I feel like she'd be a lot more guilty if they actually kissed.
I can't remember. I thought that they did. But maybe they didn't. He definitely like
kisses her neck.
Yeah, he like fingers her. Yeah. I don't know if they actually kissed.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But she does. Of course, she's gonna feel guilt about this.
Yeah.
So this week, just starts with Misha's basically hauled to shore, and she knows that Asar is near because of her anchor, and she needs to get to him. But Chandra's just there, stopping her. I'm like, where the fuck did Chandra come from?
Like, did she jump off? Did she see all of like? I wonder if she saw what happened in their brains.
Oh, I don't know.
And like,
yeah, she's down there.
Were they just like falling when he was fingering her? Like, I
feel like it was in their head still.
I thought it actually was physically happening.
I just think that they were both there experiencing it. I don't think it was actually happening, because I'm like, I feel like her clothes had changed, so it was still in her mind. But I don't know. Do we ever get anything more on it?
Not that I remember, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. But so, yeah, Chandra's there, and she stops Mische from throwing herself back in. And they're kind of close to the temple, and there's, like, obviously rivers of blood flowing everywhere. And it's also raining blood. And there's lots of wraiths around. and they're climbing to get to them. And Chandra tells her to hurry up because Elias can take them back. And Mische realizes that Chandra thinks that she just fell in. She doesn't realize that Mische like threw herself in to go for Asar. And Mische sees the like hopeful, hungry way that Chandra is looking at her, and she wonders if there's more to like what Chandra is doing. Like, did she make a promise to Elias that like she would get Mische if he brought her back? Like, I don't know what, and I don't know if we get anything of like what her reasonings are.
I don't know, because in all fairness though, like, we got to think back to Asar's warning. Like, whoever is in Morthryn, thank you, I forgot. I was like, missed word? Whoever's in Morthryn deserves to be there, and she was in Morthryn, so like, we still don't know what she did to deserve to be there.
No, we do get that in a second.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, I still wonder if there was something between her and Elias. Not
like a deal or
not
something?
Sexual, but like, a deal.
I don't know, because when would he have made the deal? Because he didn't have feelings for Mische at the beginning. You know what I mean?
No, Elias and Chandra.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Elias. Or whatever we call him.
Yeah.
Elias, Elias.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
to get... Oh.
Yeah, I feel like there's something there. Sorry.
No, you were saying the right name, and I was for some reason thinking of Asar.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I think we have been saying Elias, and I was just like, I don't know what names are.
Do you know why I get confused, though? Like, 'cause I think I even typed out Elias for, like, is that I feel like Elias is something.
Well, he calls her last name,
Ilia.
which is Ilie.
But, like,
whatever.
Something,
yeah.
But I feel like Elias is, like, a country in a book we've read, or, like, some kingdom or something. Like, I feel like it is something.
Yes. Don't know. I'll think about it if it comes to me.
If you know, tell us.
Let us know. Yeah. So yeah, we don't know Chandra's intentions or anything right now. But Mische thanks her, and then the anchor throbs in her chest, and she thinks, like, mission be damned, all she cares about is Asar. And Chandra tries to stop her and says that Atraxas gave them his blessing. And Misha's just like, what the fuck is she talking about? No, he didn't. Which is just kind of funny. Because she knows that Atraxas had nothing to do with this. And Mische just says she has to go. And Chandra says, don't die for one of them, a fallen soul. And she says that Mische is different because she's a child of the light. Which is just kind of funny. It goes to show the differences between, I guess, Chandra and Mische. And then Mische hears Lucy bark and wants to go, but there's a tremor, and Chandra screams, and a wraith grabs her. And then another one is coming for her, and one of the wraiths said, "You took them. I remember you. I remember it all." And Chandra begs Mische to help her, and Mische takes her hand, and she sees and feels, I guess, the past. We kind of just get why Chandra deserves to be here. It's kind of like a flashback. It's young Chandra, and she's in chains, and she was brought to the House of Shadows, and she's delivering baby after baby and then killing each child. And Mische is immediately horrified, and Chandra knows what she saw. And Chandra says, like, she did what she had to do. And Mische does understand that, like, she did this for their shared gods. And the vampires kidnapped and abused her. So it's not like, you know, they weren't exactly nice to her and then forcing her to work for them. But obviously Mische, you know, feels bad for the babies. The babies didn't do anything for her to kill them.
Wonder how, like, how did nobody obviously eventually
notice that?
Yeah, like, how did nobody notice, like, she's catching a baby out of some woman's vagina? How did no one notice her being like, oops, baby dead? and then doing
every time.
Like, at some point, I would be like, you aren't good at your job. No, thank you.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like 75% of the time
babies die.
Yeah. And then maybe she didn't do it every time. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Because it sounds like she killed them all. She killed every baby that she helped birth. And it's like, well, wouldn't you get rid of her?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Mische understands that, like, she believes she was doing the right thing. But Mische just feels hatred. Lucy barks again, and Mische knows that she can't save both Chandra and Asar. So she pulls her hand away, and Chandra is being pulled into the blood. And Mische knows that, like, under the laws of Atraxis, there are few sins greater than killing an acolyte. But Mische thinks, like, her soul is already tainted. And she can tell herself that she isn't killing Chandra, but she knows she wouldn't save her even if she could. Which is, we're just adding on the sins here. Let's just keep adding them.
But I feel like this is all culminating, hopefully, into her rejecting and being like, you know what, Atraxis, I want a divorce. And, like, embracing her Shadowborn vampireness. Because, like,
yes,
he's proven that he is a bit of a dick. And, like, not really worth following. But she just has to sort of get over that, like, yeah, he did choose her and save her when she was a kid. But, like, she's not a kid anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, like, she thinks she's accumulating these sins. And I'm like, this is not a sin. But on the other hand, you're like, how do you divorce a god? Like, there's no way he would let her live.
If she said, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Yeah. So, but I don't know where this is
going. But, like, it has to go somewhere. What else are we going to do?
I know.
Like, she has to give up her relationship with Atraxis to be with Asar. And I swear to fuck, if she's not with Asar by the end of the next book, I am revolting.
I know.
So, like, he's got to release her.
But that's this whole thing.
He's not going to kill her. That's
this whole thing. We're going towards this resurrection of a god, and she has to kill the god, and Asar needs the god to stay alive. So I'm like, something has to give. But if she fails Atraxis again,
maybe he'll just,
like, Nyaxia will protect her.
Maybe he'll just throw her away and be like, I don't want you anymore. You're no longer mine.
Or maybe she has to stay in Morthryn because he can't reach her if she's super deep in Morthryn. Like, I don't know. Or Elias could protect her, maybe. I don't know.
Who?
There's so many.
Who's Elias?
Isn't he the god that they're trying to resurrect?
That's bad. I'm really struggling with character names today.
It's all good. So Mische avoids the wraiths, and then she meets Lucy, who, like, is pointing at where she needs to go. And she kind of sees what could be Asar's body in the blood. So she's like, are you coming with me, Lucy? And Lucy just, like, yips, and then they jump in. And then we get to see basically Asar's entire past, which is kind of fun, and I like that we get to see it.
Why he's as cold and aloof as he is.
Yeah. And we see it, we are still in Mische's point of view, but she goes into his point of view. It's like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So Mischa's watching little Asar cry into the fur of a dead dog, and Malik is standing over them laughing, because of course he is. He's a villain. And he's asking what their father would say to see Asar weeping over food. And Asar knows that Malik is everything an heir is groomed to be. And his drunk mother would tell him that he was a king, and to let them hate him, it'll taste better when he eats their hearts. So Asar's mom doesn't seem great either.
Yeah.
Like, what a sin. And Asar thinks, like, he knew it was a mistake to tame and love Lucy. And we're like, is this the same Lucy? Oh. which just makes it better. And Malik says, cheer up, it could have been you.
I killed your most beloved pet, but don't worry, I haven't killed you yet.
Yeah. And Asar just thinks to himself that, like, his tears aren't sadness. It's rage. And he makes a vow that they can beat and break him, but he will endure it, and they will never take another precious thing from him again. And you're like, he's a fucking kid. Obviously, they're going to ruin something else.
Mm-hmm.
Mische's just there as, like, a translucent being, and she can't really do anything. She's just along for the ride. So they all go to a new room, and there's a man there that says, your father would like to see if you're capable of it. And tells Asar to think of it as a test. And he collects 5 items and draws glyphs. And it's, I guess, the first time he's ever tried necromancy is what we're getting at.
Yeah.
And it's Lucy, the dog, that he's resurrecting. And what comes back doesn't look like the dog looked. So it's the Lucy that we get in the Underworld. It's like the skeletal Lucy, which is fun. And I love the fact that I know the dog died, but it is like the dog just lived forever in this book.
Yeah, which, I love animals that live forever.
Yeah. So his father, the king, is satisfied, but Asar thinks like that doesn't matter to him. Memories move by, and we get his father saying that they'll make the most of his talents. There's training in magic, and there's killing, and then there's Asar as a young man killing people and mastering his craft. And then they're at a Shadowborn party, and she's in her offering dress, which is just interesting. But nobody notices her, so we're assuming that she's kind of just like not there. Yeah. It's a memory.
But it is weird that she's in, like, I feel like her offering dress is sort of the only fancy dress she owns. Because she's in it a lot.
Yeah. She is. I would have assumed, like, in the last book, she was in a really pretty dress at the wedding thing.
Right.
Ball.
Right.
So, yeah, but I think it's...
symbolic.
I think it's relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's vampire debauchery all around, and she sees Asar kind of like on the edge of the dance floor, not really talking to anybody, and he doesn't have any scars. And I really thought that we were going to get how he got his scars in this whole thing, but we didn't. So he hates parties, but the king is starting to cultivate the spare heir, and it's almost worth it for his mother's joy. But he knows that she only sees him as a pawn. And he knows the king is likely going to kill her. And, like, he tried not to love her since all she did was abuse him. But he is going to be sad when she dies. You're like, great. What a terrible life.
Yeah. So essentially his life has been shit.
Yeah. So Mische forces her thoughts, like, out of his, like, entangled stuff, and she calls out to him, and he looks at her for a second, and she can see like the ghosts of his scars like appear, and just as he's about to speak back to her, someone bumps into him, and she's noble and tells him her name is Ophelia, and she's like super flirty, and he doesn't really answer, but he does shake her hand even though he knows he shouldn't. And then Mische yells out again, but the party is, like, shredding apart, and, like, a piece of it cuts her face like paper, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But time moves fast, and she feels Asar's satisfaction because he knows Ophelia is manipulating society and using him, but it's been so long since he's felt a soft touch, and they love each other in the ways that count. Which is also just so sad. So memories rush by, a little house in a city, and parties, and Ophelia's skills at, I guess, society. Him murdering people because that's his job, a sword from his father, and his brother's jealousy because of it. And Misha's kind of like getting lost in all of this until she like literally lands hard in a memory. Just like slams to the floor. And I'm like, why does she keep getting hurt? Isn't this supposed to be like I thought she was ghostly, but she's getting hurt. And in this memory, Asar is in the Royal Guard uniform, and he's crying, and it's in the little house, and Ophelia is dead in his lap, and he feels so much rage, and he knows this is punishment for rising too fast, and that it's, like, his brother's doing.
Yeah. Well, that
Mische,
sword is a gift.
Yeah. To the one that's killing all of his enemies and, like, torturing people, like, you know. So yeah, Mische wants to help before, like, which is kind of like her character, but she wants to help this Asar before the wounds, like, fester and it all becomes worse. Yeah, but she knows she's too late.
Yeah.
And also, this is the past. You're not gonna, even if you do make a change here, it's not gonna affect
the future,
the present. Yeah. So he's shut down with grief, and time just starts moving fast, and the room is covered in glyphs, and Ophelia's in the middle, and he knows that it's selfish and punishable by death, but he can't stop. So Mische watches as he tries to necromancy. That's not a
resurrect
verb, but I'm using it. Yeah. Resurrect Ophelia. And the immortal and mortal worlds collide, and poppies start to bloom in the floor, and then it gets darker, and there's, like, a split in the floor, I guess, and hands start pulling Ophelia's body into the earth, and she wakes up, and Mische knows that something is wrong, and Mische somehow knows that, like, Ophelia's flesh and soul are in two different places. So this didn't work.
She didn't come back right.
No, which doesn't seem surprising since Lucy didn't come back right.
No.
And, like, has he not done this,
like,
since?
I guess my question is, because he did it with Chandra, and she seems fine.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess my question would be, just, did he not have enough practice when he tried to do this with Ophelia? Mm-hmm. Or is there something different about trying to do it to a vampire that makes it more difficult, or, like, even more unnatural? Like,
yeah,
what is it, like, was he just inexperienced? Like, I just don't know what it was about this resurrection that made her come back wrong.
Yeah. I kind of wondered if she, like, had already moved into the underworld, whereas maybe Chandra was still on the path to the underworld. But that's based on nothing.
It's a good theory.
Yeah, but it is interesting because it does seem like maybe he hasn't done any resurrections since Lucy, and he doesn't really know how to do them. But then clearly he's learned before Chandra.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hands of the Dead are, like, pushing through the tier for her, and his magic gave them a pathway to life. And Ophelia asks what he's done to her, and Asar grabs her, and they're pulled into death, and Mische yells at him, and he hesitates, and then Ophelia looks at her, and Mische knows she should run, but she can't move. And Asar sees her then and, like, dives for her, and Ophelia lunges at her, but someone pulls Mische back. What the fuck is going on? And Lucy just saved both of them. So Lucy just pulls.
Yeah, so from my thing, it seemed like Asar was, like, stuck in his memory, like, reenacting stuff, but was probably conscious about reenacting. Yeah. Because Mische does it as well in some of her memories, where she's, like, she's acting out what happened in the memory.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's doing that, and then when he sees her, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta get her out of here.
Yeah. I just feel like a lot of Mische's memories, she was reenacting, but then she changed things. So it does make me wonder if, like, was he just reliving them, or was he doing the same things, or did he change anything?
Yeah.
I don't know, because this seems like what actually happened.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if he was just doing it again as, like, a penance.
Yeah. Yeah, could be.
Because he feels like shit about this event.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would keep him there because, like, a lot of Mische's were kind of like, you can stay in this happy moment before things went to shit.
Yeah.
So for his to be, like, penance, he feels like that's what he deserves. That's a good point.
And, like, we know that Ophelia is the bitch that attacked them, right?
Yeah, basically.
We did. Did we know that before?
I don't think, but who else could it be? Like, we knew that he blamed Elias for following orders for her dying, and why would he care about anybody else? Like, it'd be weird to get a different story, so you kind of put it together at this point. But I think, like, Mische confirms it to him later. So yeah, Lucy pulls them both out of the blood, and Mische knows, I guess maybe this is when we know for sure, but Mische knows that Ophelia is coming for them and they have to go. So this is kind of when we're like, definitely was Ophelia is the wraith without a name. So Mische presses her hand to Asar's chest to make sure that he's real, to, like, feel the anchor and make sure he's not an illusion, and he does the same to her. And then he gets up and his side is still bleeding, and he asks about Chandra, and she just shakes her head. And Mische's leg is just, like, at a wrong angle, but it doesn't really come up again.
Yeah.
So, Asar says that she doesn't deserve this, but they have to go. So they go towards the temple, and really, I thought this leg thing was going to be a bigger issue. Like, clearly she sprained it or broke it or something, but, like,
if she's a vampire, she should be able to heal.
But you'd need blood to heal, you'd think. They hobble to the temple.
She had a little bit of blood, didn't she, last week?
Well, they probably drank it out of the river.
Yeah, why can't they just drink it out of the river?
I know. I don't know. Would that make you go crazy?
Is it not fresh from... Do they need it fresh from the tap?
I don't know. No, because he has bottles.
Oh.
So I don't know. So they go inside of the temple, and it's crumbling, and the back is just full rubble, and there's rivers of blood running through it. And then there's, like, a crypt in the middle of the temple, and they can feel that, like, the relic is in there. Because, of course, it is. And Mische can feel Ophelia coming. So they get to this little crypt, and Asar opens the door, and light comes out and just, like, immediately burns the shit out of him. So he moves them out of the way. And obviously this is Atraxis's trap. So Asar asks if she can manipulate the light, power, sun bullshit. But she can't. And you're just like, well, if you didn't let Chandra die, she could just fucking walk right in there. Any human could.
Yep.
Which is just funny. But Asar says that they need to find another way. And Mische looks at where, like, the sun burnt her, and she thinks it's not nearly as bad as Asar's burns. So she says that she'll go in. And he says no, of course. Mm-hmm. And she says that it's Atraxis's magic, so it won't kill her. And he's just like, yeah, because Atraxis has never hurt you. And she's like, I didn't say it wouldn't hurt. I just said it wouldn't kill me.
Yeah.
Which is just like...
A valid point, but also unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. And just sad that Atraxis is such a dick.
Yeah.
But Asar holds her back, and then Ophelia's there, saying that this is her favorite sanctum to see inside fragile mortal minds, the same regrets and the same fears. You're like, she's something.
Unhinged.
Yes. So she raises her arms, and then the dead just rise up. And Mische kind of thinks, like, they're stuck between death and life, and she can feel the pain of that, which is unfortunate. So Asar grabs his sword and tells Mische to run to Morthryn, and he'll fight and, like, get them there. So she puts her hand in the light, and it's painful, but she knows that it won't kill her. So she's not doing what he said.
Of course not.
And no. Well, what kind of story would it be? And also, what else can they do? They have to get this relic.
Yeah, if they want to...
They can't just go back and get another human.
Yeah. Although, I'll be honest with you. If this were me and, like... I don't know. Like, if I had an option now... Like, as in... If somebody, like... So I guess he's doing this for Nyaxia, and I wonder how optional it is. Because, like, if this were me, I'd be like, time to cut my losses, goodbye.
Yeah.
So, like, I honestly would be like, okay, bye. Like, it's been fun. See you later.
Well, couldn't you just live in Morthryn and not worry about, like, Nyaxia too much? Like, I don't know. But I agree. This seems wild. At this specific point, though, I'm like, what else can they do? They're surrounded by wraiths. Like, how would you get out of there? I don't think you can just fight them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And obviously, Ophelia's there. But Ophelia says to Mische that she knows what it's like to call for a great love and hear no answer. She said that she called 72 times when they murdered her.
Yikes.
We're assuming she called out to Asar. So that's bad.
Yeah.
So Ophelia then, like, looks through Misha's memories, I guess. And she finds the memory of the Kajari with Mische calling for Atroxus as the demons came for her. And that's the last time, like, that was the first time as a vampire, I think, that the magic didn't come. And she almost died. And Ophelia says, I wonder if yours will answer now. And Mische kind of thinks like she wonders the same thing. And Mische tells Asar to hold them off, and she dives into the light before he can stop her.
Woo.
And the light doesn't kill her, but it hurts like a bitch.
Of course it does.
Yeah, she's a vampire. But she can see that it's coming from a box with 3 golden horse skulls beside it. And she wonders if, like in the last Sanctum, the Panthers were there. So she wonders if there were, like, guardians here and they've since died. So, like, everything seems to be getting worse the further down you go.
Yeah, but, like, didn't we sort of know that already?
That it was getting worse the further down?
That it was going to? Or not really?
Yeah, and we kind of saw last week that it was getting worse. But it would have just been fun if all of these places had guardians.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So the box that's the light's coming from has glyphs on it, and there's one that's like the start of Atroxus's sign, and she thinks you must need something to put in there to finish the symbol. And all of the walls are mirrors, and she sees that one of her reflections has empty eyes and freckles that are like lights coming out of her freckles and eyes. And also has a hole in her chest with light coming out of that too. And the light coming out of the chest is so bright it hurts to look at. And then this reflection Mische, I guess we'll call her, not actual Mische, walks up to Mische and puts her hand up over the box. And Mische can feel Asar's fear in the moment, so she knows that, like, he's still alive, which is good. Always like a update on that.
Yeah, like, what's he even doing out there?
I don't understand how he can hold them off.
Yeah.
There's a bajillion of them.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Is he just, like, spinning in a circle with his sword so nobody can get near him?
I would like that.
I would too. So Mische doesn't really know what to do, so she moves a bit closer to her reflection, and the reflection grabs her arm and shoves her hand. The reflection shoves her hand into Mische's chest. And Mische starts screaming, and her sins flash by. And her sins, I've got to say, like, are you fucking kidding me? It's an elbow touching hers. So we're assuming that was
the kid.
What's his face? Yeah, her friend. a corpse hitting the ground. We're assuming that's when she, in the last interlude, she climbed up and cut down the vampire corpse. Lips on her throat. And I'm like, is that when Malik turned her? Like, that's not your sin.
Or was that when Asar was just kissing her neck?
Well, yes, I don't know. We need more information on this. Chandra reaching for her. And then countless sips of blood, 1,000 burns, and 1,000 unanswered prayers. And something that she can't remember, like a knife in the gut. And I'm like, what? What is that going to be? Like, it has to do, I assume, with her turning. Like, what she can't remember? But I don't know.
I also don't know, and I've read, like, I've read quite far ahead. Like, I'm, you know, I'm close to finishing. So.
I know. I just don't, and, like, maybe it isn't even in this book, but I don't know. So Reflection Mische takes her hand back, and it's just covered in black sludge, which is awful. And Asar asks Mische what's happening, like mind to mind. And Reflection Mische shakes her head, and all Mische can think is tainted, that her soul was weighed and found lacking. But then she thinks, like, this is also the sanctum of Psyche, so she's like, is this even real? But then she does feel like she can feel when Reflection her rushes at her. So, like, even if it's not real, it feels real. So Mische falls on her back, and Reflection Mische bats Mische's sword away. And the light from inside of Reflection Mische burns Mische. And Mische just knows instinctively that the key is inside of other Mische's stomach, where the light's coming from. So she reaches for her magic, and all she finds is black sludge, and she thinks that she's tainted.
My God, and enough.
I know. I'm like, your sins weren't that bad. Like,
yeah, she needs, like, I say that, obviously she needs to find a way to heal her own trauma, but, like, in my brain, I'm like, girl, like, you want to see everyone else's resume of shit that they did? Like,
yeah,
your stuff ain't that bad. You literally just questioned your faith a little bit. But, like, to be fair, I feel like that's accurate for, like, real life.
Yeah.
Like, if you're seen questioning your faith at all, people, like, treat you like shit. I don't know if that's actually true, but it feels true.
It does, yeah.
So.
No,
I'm sure it's not true for everybody, but I'm sure it's true in some cases.
Yeah, I guess it's harder in this world, too, because the gods are definitively and, like, actually talking to you real. So, like, doubting your faith, that seems like it would make it harder because you're like...
Yeah, you know...
I know he talks to me all the time, so doubting him when I know he's a god. But then there are so many gods, so it's like, how do you choose who to follow?
Yeah. It's like, I know he'll be mad at me when he comes to have sex with my 16-year-old self later.
Yeah. Ugh. So yeah, Reflection Mische presses her hand to Mische's face and lights Mische on fire.
Whoa.
Like, this is great. So in her head, Asar is, like, yelling for her, and he's frantic, and Reflection Mische pulls out another memory of Mische looking at Asar's body, and then of him saying, "Let me defile you," and, like, the hunger that Mische felt at that. So that's really what her sin is. Wanting Asar is what this sin is. And how much she wanted him. And we're like...
Yeah, we also want that.
We
Come
do.
on, let's go.
So Mische pushes the reflection away. And her mental walls are in shambles. And Asar's magic pushes in and says that she has 30 seconds to answer him. And she can't grab his magic either. So she just, like... She's just trying to evade Reflection Mische. And obviously Reflection Mische knows Mischa's moves and is just faster and better. And trying to use her magic, like, opens up burns on top of her burns, like, on Mischa's arms. And then she's in the Moon Palace again, and Reflection Mische says that Mische should have died here. And Mische agrees. Because of course she does.
Sin.
Yeah. So she's in a real bad place. And then everything starts to tremble, and a pillar crashes through the crypt. And Reflection Mische flickers because, like, 2 of the mirrored walls are broken now. So, like, if you just took down all the walls, Reflection Mische should disappear. Because there's no way to reflect.
Yeah.
But she's still attacking her. And Mische looks over and she can see Asar is overwhelmed. And Mische herself is injured. And the wraiths start to come into the crypt, but Lucy is trying to stop them. And the wraiths, like, hit Lucy out of the way. And I'm like, leave the fucking dog alone.
Yeah, what did she ever do to you? Besides attack you and try and protect her master.
Yeah. And Mische hears Ophelia laughing. You're like, Jesus Christ, woman.
Yeah.
Each of the Reflection Mischa's touches on Mische brings another sin to her. And we get, like, touches between her legs. So she does masturbate.
Thank
That's
God.
a sin. But I enjoyed that it was put in there. Mische enjoying blood a bit too much. You're like, it's food. Of course you enjoy it. Like, I don't know. I feel bad that she takes that as a sin. I get it, because obviously vampires are Atroxus's, like, mortal enemy. Sad, though.
Yeah, but, like, I wonder, too, if, like, part of it is, like, you know, she is technically, like, an acolyte. Like, yeah, she's an extra special one, but she is an acolyte. So I wonder if, like, she should be taking, like, vows. You know, it's kind of like nuns, where you, like, don't enjoy anything very much.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. But she's such a happy, bubbly person who enjoys life. So it's like, how can you make her not enjoy something?
I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, all of her unanswered prayers is another sin of hers. And then Mische reaches for the sun, and she looks at Asar, who looks at her, and she feels a tug on the anchor. And she realizes that he's telling her to use her other magic. Because she can't control Atroxus's magic right now, but she can stoke the flames for the darker shadows to grow. But she's also afraid to use the shadow magic because she's, like, not used it for 50 years. And she wonders what she'll unleash if she does use it, and if she can, like, close the door again on it. Or if she uses that, will she ever be able to use her sun magic again? Because it's the ultimate, I guess, betrayal, she thinks, to Atroxus, is to use the shadow magic.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, we both know that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
However, you know, I guess
everything she does is bad.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing she can do. So she tries to call the sun one more time, but obviously she can't. And Asar tells her that she is too good to be this afraid of herself. Aww. And that she's better than this. It's very nice. And she knows that he understands because he also feared the power that he was given by people that he hated. So she takes Asar's power and opens the door, and Mische grabs Reflection Mische's face, and Reflection Mische grabs her face, and Mische calls to the sun with her anger, not her joy, which is what she usually calls to it with. And instead of control, she sets the sun ablaze. And then Reflection Mische is in pain and burning hotter. And Mische grabs the shadows, and it feels right. And she thinks it feels like her sun magic used to feel. And she like she had to use so much energy to hold back the shadows that now it's, I guess, kind of freeing to be using it.
Yeah.
And the shadows protect her, and she feels the thoughts and emotions of the dead waiting for her. And a voice inside of her whispers, like, this is how magic should be, as easy as breathing. Because obviously using her sun magic was that easy when she was a kid, but not anymore. So Reflection Mische burns up, and shadows rush through the cracks in, like, her body, spiderwebbing under her skin, and darkness smothers the light, and Mische pins Reflection Mische, and she looks herself in the face, and she is a shadow-born vampire who let the dark devour her long ago and refused to see it. She puts her hand in Reflection Mische's chest and grabs the core of power. And then Asara is pushing the wraiths back with their shared magic. Like, interesting. And she grabs his hand, and she lets a blanket of darkness cover the wraiths. And Mische wants to use more magic. Like, it's really affecting her finally using the magic, and it feels good. Imagine. So Ophelia says, how exciting. The Songbird has talons, but what a price she will pay for them.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's exactly what Misha's thinking, so leave her alone. But not right now, because Mische doesn't care, because nothing feels real until fingers brush her cheeks. And of course, it's Asar.
Yeah.
And he...
like, girl, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, you need to come back to yourself. And he tells her it's okay and to come back. And she does, and they're in front of the altar. And she has the key, so she slides it in place. And the box falls open, and they reach inside together. So then we get a memory. So Elias and Nyaxia are at the veil between worlds. And he thinks that they're shattering the paths of fate. And they swear themselves to each other. And basically it's a marriage. And they use the old language, which was used to forge the world. So it's convenient that they use the old language when they're destroying it. You're like, Jesus. And then he gives her the ring that binds him to the White Pantheon because he has forsaken them.
I just don't understand why. Why does he need to forsake the White Pantheon to be with her?
I don't know. Maybe there will be more memories and we'll get something else. Is it just being with her that has forsaken? Because if that's the case, then that's stupid.
Why? Like, I understand, like, he said that, she has a thirst for power and whatever, which is fine. But, like, you would think that, if anything, the White Pantheon gods would be like, respect. Because they all, you know what I mean? Like...
But are any of the gods together? Like, is there, like, a rule that you're not allowed to get together with God? Like, any gods
ridiculous.
With each other? Because they all probably have humans. They don't... Are any of the other ones together? I don't know.
I don't know, because we really don't know who any of them are, except for, like, 4.
Yeah, and we get random ones. Like, what was the other one? The one of machinery?
Oh, yeah.
We got last week or something.
We did remember, I think that something is coming back to me. Remember at the end of the first book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night.
Yeah.
At the end of the, like, Hunger Games thing, they had to battle a bunch of the gods and their powers. Remember?
Yes.
I don't know if it was like a maze or something like that. It was something. And like all the god, and you had to like attack the god with like the opposite or something.
Yes.
So it listed off a whole bunch of them.
It did.
I just don't.
But like we just know about their powers or what they are of. Like we don't really know anything about them personally.
No, that's correct.
Yeah. I just would like to know more about any of the other ones to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Like, I would also, I just want to know, like, if, presumably, the White Pantheon are all gods that get along with each other. So you would think there would be some sort of cordiality or, like, professional colleague sort of, like, respect. Mm-hmm. So, like, shouldn't they just be happy for him? Are they just mad that they didn't get invited to the wedding? Like, is that the problem?
Yeah. But it also seems like none of them care about the underworld or, like, these steps that he made. So it does seem like maybe did he forsake them before her, or is it just about her? Like, was him making a descent to the underworld, is that forsaking them? Like, I don't know.
I got nothing.
Je ne sais pas. So yeah, they kiss. And Elias thinks that there was really no other choice.
I mean,
like, damn.
He didn't want to get married. He didn't have to. No pressure.
Well, there was no choice.
Now that's concerning.
Yeah. Did she force him to get married?
Yeah, like, I don't want him to feel like he doesn't have his own agency.
Yeah. Interesting. So, Asar and Mische now have the ring. And Mische looks at Asar, and she feels want. But he looks down at her, and she can feel his fear. And she looks down, and she just asks, whose blood is that? And of course it's hers. And then all of her injuries, just like, she gets feeling of them. She can finally feel them. Asar says he's got her, and calls her Mische, which makes her smile, because he always calls her by her last name. And she passes out. And then Atraxas is lying next to her in bed and says that you told me you had never been disloyal. And she says that she hasn't, but she looks down and her ceremony dress is black. And I originally think it was maybe gold or white. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't black. But now it's black because she's accepted the shadows, I assume. Like, that's why.
Maybe.
Don't know. And, like, is this a dream or is he actually there? Don't know.
I feel like it's just a dream.
Yeah, it must be. But Atraxas says that you said you were committed to your calling, and she says that she is, and he says, show me.
Show him how?
Don't know. Well, I know. We read too many books. Because all I can think is on her knees. It just got, like, you know. So Mische wakes up and she's in pain, and Asar is wrapping her arm, and he healed the worst of her wounds. And they're back in Morthryn, and he says that it's going to get more difficult from here on out. And he says that it's actually lucky the temple gave them an easy path back to Morthryn, because there were so many wraiths, they would have been fucked. So Mische starts thinking about what happened, and of course she feels bad about using the magic, and not just using the shadow magic, but how much she loved using it. So, you know, and how that's a sin, because everything she does is a sin.
Well, I mean, just her existing is a sin. Yeah. According to her faith.
Well, yeah. It's unfortunate. And Asar can, like, of course, just immediately read her mind, like, constantly. But he says that she was magnificent and never doubt that. And her hand is on his, and she thinks of him between her legs and how much she wanted it. And she wonders if he remembers it. And then she sees his thumb on her pulse and goosebumps on his arm and the desire in his eyes. And she's like, oh, he remembers it. So they both look away, and Mische's glad that he's willing to let it go. And Asar tells her that he thought that the air marks were a trick by Psyche, because, you know, that would be a reasonable thing to think. But obviously they aren't. And Mische says that she's sorry about his father. And he's like, no, he's a bastard. I'm glad he's dead.
Valid.
We're like, fair. And then she says, I'm sorry your sister tried to kill you. And he's just like, he says he should have seen it coming, because all she's ever wanted is the throne. and it was like his fault for not realizing. And he tells her that Ygritte won't settle for queen. She'll want to be empress. And I'm like, I guess of all vampires?
Yeah.
Like, is she... I'm assuming that's what he means.
I feel like she's gonna, like, want to be empress of the entire world.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's fair.
Because they talk about, like, conquering the humans and stuff, too.
Yeah, because last week, Elias, whatever we're calling him, said, and that's what they say now, like, the House of Blood conquered a human nation, so if Ygritte's in charge, she'll seize on that. And we're assuming conquer more, conquer other vampires. It's not going to be good. So Mische sees the relics are there, and there are 4 petals from the poppy, not the 5 that they collected. So she's like, shit, Elias took one. And Asara's like, yep. He says he underestimated him because of their other issues, and she wonders about them, and he just tells her because he can read everything. He says that Elias didn't torture or kill Ophelia, but he was there. And Asar was blindsided because he thought that they were friends. And he was blindsided this time because he thought Elias was an idiot.
Valid points.
Which is just kind of funny. Yeah. And they kind of talk about it, and they say, like, Elias wasn't stupid enough to take a full relic in case Nyaxia came after him. Because, like, if he fucked up the resurrection...
Nyax would be on his ass.
Exactly. But Elias and Ygritte could use the petal for power or as a bid for Nyaxia's favor. But Misha's just like, well, Ygritte is an heir, so she won't use it yet. But then Asar shows her that his marks are flickering. And he says it's because he's closer to dead than alive. So she asks if Ygritte has half marks too, but obviously none of them know because
they can't see her.
Yeah. So I'm kind of assuming that if his are flickering, she has some that are flickering. Maybe they're lighter than his. Yeah. But that's my assumption based on nothing.
But, like, it's also no guarantee that she'll get them, right? Like, the air mark goes...
could be someone else.
It goes to, like, who they think is... Who the powers that be, / I assume the air power, who thinks will be the best, like, sort of the leader. So, like, might skip over her entirely and go to Elias.
Yeah, but he'd be happy about that, too.
Oh, yeah. So...
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder, like, it wouldn't be funny, but it would be funny if they're, like, flickering on someone else. And she's just like, well, I'm just going to have to kill everyone until this gets to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Asar tells her that she should go back.
Of course
and he says that, yeah. He says that he can barely get to secrets and soul himself, and it's going to be more dangerous now, and Ophelia is stronger. And I was just like, but you need someone with Atraxis's power, so what do you can't keep going alone.
I know, but it seems like her power from Atraxis is, like, almost non-existent at this point.
It does, but she still has more than him. Like, how is he gonna get any of the relics?
But I don't think he's thinking logically at this point. Like, I think he's on...
No.
He knows that he's on, like, a suicide mission, and he's just like, go back.
Yeah, that's true. But I was just like, why doesn't someone say that they need her? But they don't even go there. Because, yeah, he's like, oh, it's gonna be so bad. Mische does ask, though, because he's like, Ophelia is so much stronger, she's going to follow us. And Misha's like, well, can't you, like, help her? And he's like, obviously he's tried. Like, but he says he's tried so many times. And he says that she isn't fully dead or fully alive. So that's what he fucked up when he brought her back. She was kind of half and half. But he thinks, like, if he can resurrect Alaris, maybe Alaris can, like, help and either get her out of limbo. And he says, like, the descent is crumbling with neglect, and he made it worse when he tried to resurrect her. And the Wraiths don't know enough to blame him, but obviously Ophelia does. But Mische says it's not his fault. And he kind of agrees, but he does feel responsibility for it and for Ophelia, which is kind of fair. I think he should feel responsibility for Ophelia. And then Mische kind of feels bad, and she debates telling him the truth of, like, she has her own mission from Atraxis. But of course she can't, because that would be wild. And we have to have logical lies. But Misha's like, okay, then let's keep going. And Asara says that he deserves this, but she doesn't. So they debate it, and she tells him not to be self-sacrificing, and he's just like, you're calling me self-sacrificing after, like, you're seeing her memories? Which is, like, a really big dig on Mische, because, like, that she believed so fully in what she was doing that him being, like, making a dig at it hurts her feelings. And also, like, she hasn't really told anyone else about her past life, and he only knows it because he saw it. Like, I don't think she would have just gone out and told him about it. And he tells her it's too dark here, and it isn't all jokes and games and smiles, and he doesn't want to destroy her. And that kind of pisses her off. And she's just like, just because she smiles and talks a lot doesn't mean she doesn't know darkness. And he's just like, no, I didn't mean it like that. And she's like, yeah, what you meant was that you care about me. Which I love.
She's like, I know what you meant.
Yeah. And she says that he has a good heart, but she understands what she's, like, she understands what she's doing in asking to go with him. And he says, like, she doesn't deserve to die for this. And she says that he said that everyone in Morthryn deserves to be here. And he's right. She does deserve to be here.
Fuck off.
And I'm like, you don't. He was wrong. Guess what? You don't. So, yeah. And he asks her if he's her latest project. And she says that he has been from the start. And he says, if anyone can melt a heart of a stone heart, which is obviously
the title,
the name of the book,
Songbird and the Heart of Stone. He's the Heart of Stone.
And Ophelia keeps calling her a songbird too. Like, woo. So Morthryn doesn't have hallways anymore, so they have to go, like, down the descent the hard way. I'm like, that's shitty. And they only have one bottle of blood, so they're healing super slowly. And they're starving. And she thinks the scent of Asara's blood is torturous. So to distract from it, she asks him questions. And she asks him his favorite color, which is green, and the prettiest place he's ever been to. And he says Morthryn at sunset, and his first best friend, which is obviously Lucy, and his biggest petty annoyance. And he's like, this conversation. I love how he is. I
didn't realize that, like, vampires could feed off each other.
I know.
Like, this is odd, the fact that she's smelling him and thinking of him as delicious. Like, I didn't think vampires, I thought they had to drink human blood.
I did too, and I'm positive that this is more of a mates thing, of, like, the blood of your mate just, like, tastes better, because we kind of got it with Araya and Rain.
Yeah. But I thought part of that was because Araya's half human. So, like, he drank her blood because he could. He could survive off of it because she's half human. I didn't realize that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that they could survive off each other's blood.
I don't, like, they wouldn't be able, like, I think if one of them drank all of the blood of the other one, they could probably live. But, like, they can't just go back and forth drinking blood off of each other because they'd be losing it, too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that'd be possible. But I don't know. Maybe it is. They don't try it yet, this part. But it would be funny. Yeah. So then she asks him later, like, one thing he wishes that he learned. And he just says the cello. And she thinks, like, she's seen a bunch of pianos and a violin in Morthryn, and she kind of wonders if he actually plays music, because we didn't really see that. And she doesn't think he's really the type. And she says that he seems like the type to like books and rules. And he's like, yeah, I do, but I also like music.
I mean, music, like, has rules sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. And she says that when they get back, she'll personally find him a cello. And she says when, even though realistically, they're likely not going to make it, is what they're thinking. And also, we know either she's going to have to betray him or she's going to have to betray a god. Like, she's fucked. So, as they're going down, Asara makes her practice her magic, and the draw of the darkness terrifies her, and she offered everything to Atraxas, and she was always loyal. And Atraxas could barely forgive her for becoming their worst enemy, so she feels really guilty using the magic. And she wonders how much Atraxas can actually see down here, and what will happen to Asara if she succeeds in killing Alaris. And she's starting to feel doubts, but she also thinks, like, if she succeeds, maybe she'll ask Atraxas to save Asara.
That's a great idea.
He's not going to, because he's not going to share you with somebody.
No, not even a little bit.
And, like, even if it wasn't, like, even if there wasn't so much sexual tension here, like, he wouldn't share her with anyone anyway that looked at her the way he does. Asara looks at her.
Now, I will say that we already got him telling her what her mission is, right?
Yeah.
And how he's like, just find one vampire heart, like, that can tolerate...
Oh, no.
No?
No, that's
Shit.
soon.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's right before
it
the
all
next...
draws together.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it then.
Yeah, I thought you meant the mission that she's currently on, not the mission that... Like, you can kind of guess that that's where it's going. Like, it's not surprising. But, like, we haven't explicitly said it yet. Yeah, so they're super exhausted the next morning or a morning. Don't really know. And Lucy's curled up next to Mische most mornings, which is just super cute. I love Lucy.
Yeah.
So Asara takes them along a path through, like, a gap in a cliff, and they end up in, like, a field of grass, and there's just a house there. And there's this shadow-born vampire woman opens the door, and Mische realizes that she's a wraith and that she has a brutal chest wound. And she's like, Asara, but he just smiles and says, "It's good to see you, Esme." I'm like, okay. So they go inside, and Misha's shocked to see Asara, like, lounging and comfortable here. And they drink blood together, and Esme's servants bring Mische some pastry-wrapped steak, which has been a favorite of hers. And Esme says that, like, they know it because they're in Psyche. Yeah. So it took it out of her head. And we get that, like, none of the food or drink here is real.
Yeah, so it's not actually going to do anything for them.
But it still tastes good. So it's good for her morale, I guess, but it's not doing anything for her injuries or her appetite. It's like, great. Asara laughs at her, like, the amount that she's loving the food, and she tells him not to judge her for enjoying mortal pleasures, and he says that he would never deny her a mortal pleasure. We're like, ooh.
Woo!
And obviously that makes her think of him saying that basically I think he said that he'd please her until she was so exhausted with pleasure that she begged for him to stop. And we're like, ugh. So to change the subject in her head, she asks Esme how she knows Asara. And Esme, was the warden of Morthryn for 300 years before Asara was, until she displeased the king, and even in death, she's stuck here. And Esme actually taught Asar about Morthryn and what to do so that he could take over as the warden. And Asar tried to help her pass over, but couldn't. And they kind of wonder if her exile into Morthryn binds her here, even though she's dead, which is kind of sad. But she's been able to use Psyche to build an illusion life, and she, like, can live the life she wants through, I guess, illusion, which is, it's sad, but it's something, I guess. And she also helps keep things in order.
Yeah, because it is so difficult
Asar
for him to get down to this level that she can sort of take care of things down there.
Yeah. So Esme asks why they're here, and Asar tells her that they are on the path to resurrect Elias, and she's shocked. But he tells her, like, Nyaxia asked him to do it. And then Esme asks about Mische, and he explains that she was a dawn drinker, and she killed Malik. And Esme's immediately like, oh, I like her. And asks how Mische killed him. And she says that she stabbed him. And Esme says, excellent. I hope he died slow. And Mische says, slow enough.
Love it.
I do too. I do wonder, there's obviously some history there. I'm like, is he the one that ended up killing her? Because she was killed because of the king.
That's a good point.
And then Esme kind of just asks, like, why it's just the two of them if they're on this mission. And Asar says that there were others, but it didn't go well because there was trouble at home. And he shows Esme the air marks. And then he just, like, blows past it and asks how secrets and soul are these days. But she says that she hasn't been able to go down that far. So, like, if she can't go down that far, what the fuck are they doing? And then she's basically like, before we can chill together, you guys need to take a bath because you're disgusting. And Misha's just like,
don't have to tell me twice. Goodbye.
Yeah, she just, like, gets up and runs for it. And Asar's like, you can go first. And she's like, didn't even think of offering it to him. She's like, don't care. But, of course, on the way up, she stops on the stairs to eavesdrop. And Esme tells Asar that Ygritte can't be queen, and he should go back. And he can just go up and tell Nyaxia that he failed and offer the relics that he got along the way as, like, a
tribute to Alaris.
Yeah, a consolation. Yeah. And she says, like, Nyaxia can't see down here. So, like, you can just tell her that you couldn't do it. And I'm like, I don't think she'd accept it, but it's not a bad idea.
But, like, if she's a goddess, couldn't she, like, read his thoughts and just learn that, like, what happened?
Yeah. True. That's true. Mische kind of agrees with it, and she thinks, like, he would be a good king. Especially, like, him as king, and then Rain and Araya, like, you know, we'd get a good, maybe people would stop fighting. We'd maybe be able to, like,
peacefully coexist.
Get some stuff on the go. Yeah. But obviously Mische wants to keep going because she has a task. And Esme then asks Asar if this is because of Ophelia. And he just says that he needs to right his wrongs. And that this place keeps getting worse. And Mische thinks, like, she knows how he feels because he's looking for the same thing she is, redemption. And then Esme asks about Mische and says to try to keep her alive because she likes her. And Asar says, well, she does have some flaws. And he says she's nosy and she's bad at eavesdropping. And he tells her that Shadowborns shouldn't get caught. And she just says that she doesn't know what he's talking about. She's taking the bath, which is just kind of funny.
It's like,
he found me out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's funny, though.
So, after the whole, like, you're spying on us debacle, she just goes upstairs and gets in the bath, and she's, like, loving her life. And in my brain, I'm like, is this all a mirage, too?
Yeah, because she says that, too. She's like, this might be fake, too, but it feels great. And I'm like, But are you clean? I don't understand.
Yeah, because, like, the missus is like, you guys stink. You need to shower. Or you need to bathe. So, like, if it was a fake bath, she's still gonna smell.
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe she's fake clean and fake not smelly. I don't know.
It's too Inception-y for me. This is too much like that. I swear, that movie was too much for me.
That's fair.
So after she bathes, she gets out. She feels a little bit bad that she's, like, hogging the bathtub. So she gets out. And there's, like, this...
Shouldn't they be able to just apparate another bathtub?
Yeah, but where would they?
If it's all fake.
That's true. I like how we're using words from, like, other books in...
Yeah, I know it's not a word.
But it makes sense.
Could you just magically appear another...
It's apparate, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
Anyway, so, like, she gets out, and there's this snazzy nightgown waiting for her to put on. I guess, like, Esme sort of mind magicked it. And again, I'm like, so is it real or not? Is she just waltzing around with no clothes on?
I know.
Anyway, it's fine. So she, like, loves it. She's like, oh my god, I feel so great. But she is self-conscious of, like, all the scars on her arms, obviously. And she says they've actually spread, like, it's not just on her arms. I think it was, like, sort of in the crook of her elbow before. Like, that's where it started.
Yeah, that's where it was when she became a vampire. Because she did get some injuries, I guess. I don't know if we get anything on that, but I kind of feel like when she started doubting, maybe... Atraxis, he was like, and now it's gonna be painful.
But anyway, so, like, the scarring has actually spread, like, down to her hands and up to her shoulders, so it's, like, all along her whole arm now. So she does put a robe on and, like, covers herself up and goes downstairs. And I guess Asar is, like, actively trying not to look at her. And, like, he's subtly rearranging himself, because I guess she looks that good in her, like, snazzy lingerie.
Yeah, which, wild.
Yeah.
I'm like, she needs more clothes.
You do you, boo. Then he goes to take his turn in the bath. And then Mische and Esme chat, and Esme tells her that she sees everything, like, this is her house. So she can see the scars.
So she sees her naked, is what she's saying.
Yes.
I saw you bathing.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, sure. Cool.
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you think about it that way. Although she said it, like, Mische she wasn't embarrassed by that bit. She was embarrassed that she could see her scars.
Yes. Oh.
It wasn't
I understand.
My entire body was on display.
I'm just putting myself in her place. And
Yes.
I'm like, but I was naked.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But, like, that's not where her mind went with it, which I don't understand. Yeah. But it's fine. Anyway, and Esme just tells her that the scars will not stop. The more of Atraxis' magic that she uses, the more she will scar. And I'm just like, how do you know that? Like,
yeah.
How do you know? But then she also tells Mische that she can tell that Asar cares for her as more than friends. And that once Asar decides he cares for her, he will not stop. And all of her sacrifices will become his. And his heart can't take another blow. So essentially she's saying, like, if he decides that he likes you or that he loves you, then this is it. Like, he's gonna take on everything you are. And I'm wondering if, like, she can also see this whole, like, plan that she's cooked up with that Atraxis is making her do.
I can't imagine she would just let her go with him.
But maybe
if she could.
But, like, maybe she can see the indecision in her.
Maybe,
and is just hoping she makes a good choice.
You'd think she'd warn
Asar?
Asar. Maybe she did while she was bathing.
Could be. Esme also tells Mische to watch how much she sacrifices for Atraxis, because she's come too far to burn up now.
Some good advice.
It is. And, like, Mische's sort of, like, trying to take this advice to heart, but is also like, I know that Asar and I are sort of walking on opposite sides of the same plan, and that they're, like, they're trying to achieve the same goal, but for different reasons. So Asar comes downstairs, and Esme's like, oh, play the piano for me. And didn't earlier you were talking about how, like, Misha's like, do you even play an instrument?
Yeah.
So now he's like, okay, I'll play the piano. And apparently he's fantastic. And Esme and Mische dance, and Mische is, like, happy. She hasn't actually danced in forever. And she looks at Asar, and he's smiling. And she thinks that seeing him, she is home. And those are some heavy thoughts.
Yes.
Like, that's a serious declaration to make.
Yep.
And I'm quite shocked.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, Atraxis is my one and only. He's the only one I can be with. Oh, actually.
Do you think being so out of Atraxis's clutches because she's underground, his influence is a bit less on her?
Maybe. But I don't know, like, maybe there's less of a reminder that he exists. Or, like, not that he exists, but, like, that he's around. But, like, I feel like she has said in one of the other books that he completely left her alone, like, never answered her, like, he was so absent. So, like...
Yeah, but I just wonder, because, like, he'd still probably heard her. But now, like, can he even hear her? I don't know. I don't know if she's feeling like an influence more so than a pressure. Like, she feels pressure to still be one of Atraxis's chosen. And I think being reminded of him through all the stuff, like, on the surface, like, all the temples to him and, like, all that jazz. And I'm sure even being reminded of Nyaxia reminds her of Atraxis. So, yeah, that's true.
I feel like there's probably just a ton of reminders out there that, you know, that she needs to get back in his good graces.
Yeah.
So later, I guess he keeps playing and they keep dancing, but then later on Esme goes to bed. And
because ghosts sleep.
Yep. Apparently they do.
Just checking.
And she leaves Mische and Asar alone. And she asks him for one more song, and he plays her a soulful song. And she asks if he'll dance. And initially he says no, and I did not think he would do it, because, like, he's like, no, I don't dance. I know you can, not a chance. If I could do this, you could do that, but I don't dance. Hit it out of the park. Sorry, High School Musical 2.
Oh, okay. Girl, no idea.
Anyway, so he eventually does, like, relinquish and agree to dance with her and uses his shadows to play the piano so that they have music while they dance.
Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So they dance, and she asks, like, what the song is or something like that, and he actually admits that he composed the song, but, like, it's not like he took, like, sheet music and, like, wrote it all out. He just, like, started playing.
Yeah.
And he just said he felt the notes and played what sounded like Mische. So it's this, like, soulful, like, melodic song that he's playing, and he says it just sounds like her.
Pretty.
Yeah. It was very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they're having a moment, they're dancing, pressed close together, and, like, obviously he's looking at her lips, because that's what they do in romance fantasy books, like, all romance books.
Yeah.
You look at their lips when you're about to kiss them. And he just tells her that she is full of secrets, and that he should have known right away she was a bride of the sun. So I guess he didn't know. I'm guessing her having the power and having the tattoo just makes her an acolyte.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I guess being a bride of the sun is even more. She jokes that, like, she isn't that special. I can't really remember the context, but, like, something maybe, like, referencing that Atraxis is what made her special. You know what I'm saying? It's what we've been talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's how she's been feeling, that she's not special. Atraxis choosing her is what made her special.
Yeah.
And he just tells her that he has seen the desperation for redemption in himself, and he recognizes it in her. So, like, he's essentially saying, I can tell that you really want redemption from Atraxis, so, like, I see it.
Do you think that he has an idea that she's
maybe
been told to fuck him over? Because, like, how could her god not be against this?
I mean, it's possible. Maybe he's more intuitive than she's giving him credit for. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I do think he would, if he knows anything about the gods, I do think he should expect it. But at the same time, he didn't think Elias would or Elias, or whatever his name, he didn't think he would double cross, like, it didn't occur to him that he would get the air mark and Elias would try and kill him. So, like,
yeah,
maybe that was sort of the first hint that maybe Asar doesn't see, like, stuff like that. Anyway, so I guess they're sort of talking about, like, you know, how almost he's, like, alluding to how Atraxis treats her like shit.
Yeah.
And she just, like, her counter to him being, like, I guess, like, love should be, like, freely given or whatever. And she was like, well, actually, love requires sacrifice. And he asks her when she was chosen, and she tells him she was 8. And he feels a lot of sympathy for her. But she says, like, no, this was a gift. But I guess he views their relationship, and he does not see his Atraxis choosing her as a gift. And, like, I see what he's saying, and I'm glad that, like, maybe he's going to try and open up her eyes to the fact that Atraxis is not wonderful. But at the same time, her and her sister were starving. Yeah. They had no place to go. They were in danger constantly because they had no shelter. So, like, I do think that Atraxis choosing her saved her life. I don't think her and her sister, maybe her sister, I don't think she would have survived, like, her childhood without being accepted into this church.
Yeah. And they were already kicking her sister out when she was chosen. So, yeah, I 100% think that they would have died.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know. I feel like for him to be like, it's not a gift, and, like, I agree with you to a point, but at the time it was. Like, it was a saving grace for them at the time.
Yeah. I get what he's saying, but I feel like he's saying it wrong.
Yes, yeah. He pulls off her robe and, like, looks at, I guess, like, to maybe not to see her arms specifically, but he just tells her that the scars are not love. Like, Atraxis making her have those scars every time she uses magic is not love. And she thinks in her head that she thought that it was love.
Yeah.
Because she said, this is what you get when you ask for love. Like, yeah, which, like, is, break out the therapist. Like, you should carry one in your pocket at all times.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But, like, I do sort of understand what she says, because then she says, like, love is something you hurt and bleed for. And, like, I do sort of agree with, like, not that you have to. I'm not saying that's necessary, but, like,
no.
If you love someone, you would be willing to, like, you know, throw yourselves in harm's way to protect them. Or, like, you know, like, if you had to help them and it required, like, you to get hurt, like, you would make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that part I agree with. Like, it is something that you could hurt and bleed for. It's not a requirement, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
And it's something that, you know, like, you would be willing to do for the person you love.
And especially in a world like this where there's active, like...
danger.
Yeah. They're literally going to the underworld, and they're being chased and all times. So, like, yeah. Loving somebody in a situation like this could very well mean pain.
Yeah. But then she also thinks that, like, you give your God your life, your blood, and your virgin body. Ooh.
Yeah.
And you give your charges your devotion. So, like, everything about her position is giving. Mm-hmm. She never gets to receive anything. So, technically, Atraxis gets her body and soul, and then all of her, like, followers get her, like, her diligence and get, you know, her attention that way.
Yeah.
She asks him then, like, what love should feel like. Because, again, she always thought that love felt like how, you know, her getting blisters on her arms.
Yeah. And
then he starts kissing her scars and telling her it should feel like this. And, like, this is such a slow burn novel.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if we're going to get any spice in this book at all.
We do.
We do?
Yeah.
Are you further ahead than me? You must be.
I must be. But I think, like, well, yeah. I think it is in your part next week.
Oh, no. I remember.
Okay. I was like, I didn't really think I was, but...
No, I do remember. But, like, I mean, like, spice.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, so this is very slow burn. So it's just him kissing her scars, and, like, she really wants this and, like, wants him, and she's really turned on. But she also knows that she made vows, and she can't break them. Mm-hmm. So, like, I guess he's been slowly moving up her arm and maybe her shoulder, and he is about to kiss her lips.
Is this not already kind of like, it's like, it's like when you're like, if you don't move while having sex, it's not.
It's not technically sex.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you gave a god your whole body, it's not just like someone kissing your arms. If touching elbows with a child was an issue, a sin, what is this?
Yeah. No, you got a point. Like, she's already...
And, like, obviously, I think she should say, fuck you to Atraxis. But I am like,
But I also wonder, like, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh.
It, like, was there and then gone in a flash, yeah. I guess, yeah, if you're already, like, taking that step. Oh, I remember. It's not, I don't even know if it's, like, the actual act that is the sin in her brain. It's that she wants it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I think she could probably, like, she could, like, reason it away. Say, like, if he was enamored with her and she was not enamored with him, I could see her being like, not her as a person, but I mean, I could see someone in her situation needing to, like, make sure he kept her with him and, like, didn't send her away so that she could get to the end of the thing. I could see Atraxis, like, being okay with that, with her, like, using her body to, like, keep him on her side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if...
Yeah, I don't think he'd be okay with sex.
You don't think Atraxis would?
No.
I think if she said to him, like, it was the only, like, I'm sending you away. No, you're not. Sex.
Bam.
I think if that was the only way that she could get Asar to keep her with him on the mission, I think if she told Atraxis that, he'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, like, he's not having sex with her ever again. He thinks she's tainted.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like...
I don't know, man. He's a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit. Anyway, so... He's about to kiss her lips and she's about to stop him. But then there is an explosion of darkness.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And then countless wraiths are storming the home.
Actual oh, no.
Yeah. Esme comes downstairs and tosses them their weapons, and they're, like, fighting off the wraiths temporarily. But then Ophelia shows up.
Ophelia.
Yeah. And Asar tries to convince her to, like, you know, let Mische and Esme go. But then... fucking Malik shows up.
I know. I was like, why?
Yeah. And he just claims that he's been waiting for Mische. And he teases her about, like, tying her down. And he gets his hands...
No, he says that he should have tied her to the bed when she stabbed him. And I'm like, why are we making him... Like, why is he... I hate him.
Yeah, because they were going to give her to him as a gift. So, yes, he was gonna, so he's, like, teasing her about the fact that he should have tied her down.
Yeah, and raped her.
Yes.
And I'm like, great.
Yeah. Which obviously, like, she has a ton of unresolved trauma in relation to Malik. So, like, obviously...
I know this is awful because of what we're saying, but my brain did just go daddy issues. Because he's her maker.
Yeah. So. I mean, yeah. But, like, she obviously goes into freeze mode, and he manages to, like, get his hands around her throat and asks, like, how dare she, you know, and he's just pissed that this little nobody killed him, really.
Mm-hmm.
Then Asar sees him touching her and has this sort of how dare you sort of energy, which I love, like, touch her and die, and it's amazing.
It's so good.
And even the wraiths can, like, feel it. So Malik then looks and sees Asar with the air mark, and he is pissed, because he's like, those are mine! And, like, he never got them when... And, like, we don't know if he would have gotten them.
No.
Magic does what it wants to do.
It's true.
So, Ophelia is just watching this whole interaction with, like, smugness. Because she can. And then another wall of the house breaks down. And Mische sees immediately that one of the wraiths is her sister, Sasha. And,
which is what I feared the whole time.
And, like, to be fair, she is not up for this reunion.
No.
So Esme grabs both Mische and Asar and just helps them escape the house and tells them that she's going to distract everyone. And I'm like, what is everyone doing right now? She's like, I'll distract them. You guys run. While everyone's just like
having a chat,
looking at their fingernails. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. They must be slow or something. Because it was the same thing. Like, Asar was like, I'll hold them back while you go have a 10-hour fight with a version of yourself. And like, I don't think he was injured other than his stab wound that he got earlier.
Yeah. Anyway, so they don't want to leave her behind, but she's like, I'm a ghost. I'll be fine. No one does this to my house. And Mische, like, doesn't want to leave Esme behind, but she knows that, and she also knows that if she was not present right there, Asar would stay behind and fight. Like, Asar is trying to leave because of Mische. He wants to keep her safe. So they run through the fields, and then the field just ends. And Mische hates heights. So she just looks back at the cottage, and it's almost like a binoculars. Like, she can zoom in and see her sister staring at her before her and Asar jump off the field into an abyss. So then we move into part 5 of our book called Secrets. So, you know, we're starting the 4th level of the descent. So we have...
Fun.
Yes.
I'm gonna say, I was expecting more secret. I don't know, like, maybe I haven't gotten far enough, but I was expecting there to be some secrets in this part.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really understand secrets. I wonder if it's like, is it secrets or is it truths? You know what I mean? Like, is it truths of your subconscious that you don't want to admit?
Yes.
I don't know.
That's fair.
So we start with an interlude about the girl, and it picks up sort of right where it left off with her cutting down the vampire body. And the girl is nervous, and she realized that she went too far when Atraxus visited her again on the next day, which apparently he never does. Like, he never visits 2 days in a row. And she realizes that her actions have supremely pissed him off, and she just, like, falls to her feet at his mercy because of, you know, his love/gift gave her everything. So she is stressing out.
Yeah.
And he tells her that he knows she loves the light, but now he has reason to doubt her. So that's sort of icky.
Yeah.
So she offers to go on missions in his name to atone. And she's like, tell me what to do, tell me anything, and I'll atone. And he just tells her that if she truly believes that vampires can be saved, she should go to Obitreus and find a single vampire heart that can be shown the light. And, like, he knows that it's a death sentence. But she's, like, young and hopeful, and she just wants to be on his good side again, so she accepts the mission.
But she does actually believe that, like, vampires can be good.
She does.
Like, she does believe that, so she does think she could.
Yeah, but, like, yeah. She does say she's young and hopeful, so, like, she doesn't think it's like, she thinks it's gonna be hard, but she does genuinely believe she can do it.
Yeah.
So she sort of comes, so Mische, like, that's the end of the interlude. So then we get Mische coming back into consciousness, and she immediately thinks that she's home and that she must be dreaming because she's on a beach and she can feel the sand and hear the beach and the warm sun, and it smells like home. And she looks up and, like, looks around, and it's like, no, this is home. And Eamon is even standing on a pathway leading into the forest, and he's, like, waving at her. And she doesn't know if, like, this is his spirit. Or if it's an illusion, but she's like, it definitely isn't a wraith. Because I think it's because he's solid, like, wraiths are sort of see-through. So...
There must be.
Yeah. So he's, like, waving at her as if to say, hurry, we're going to be late. And she immediately remembers evening prayers. So, like, it's like she slips back into her old life. So it's like, she's like, right, I'm not supposed to be out here on the beach this late before evening prayers. I need to get back to evening prayers. I need to get back to the Citadel. So, like, she's immediately almost, like, dropping into a previous pattern, almost like a previous memory.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, she, like, doesn't remember anything about her plan, right? Like, it's just her, okay, this is my life. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, then, all of a sudden, she does remember, oh, what about the gold slip I was supposed to have on? But then she gets a burst of pain in her head. And then she remembers Rain's name. And then she gets more pain in her head. So, like, she isn't supposed to remember these things, which is why it's causing her pain. Then she remembers Asar, and she won't stop thinking about him. And all of a sudden, her memories all come rushing back with, like, intense pain. So it's almost like she refused to give up thinking about him. And that caused all of her memories to come back. So, all of a sudden, like, Eamon is suddenly closer and looks kind of menacing. So, she sees Asar down the beach, like, his body on the beach, and goes to get him. But then Eamon starts following her. And, like, he was pretty far away, but he's catching up.
Yeah.
So, she gets to Asar and grabs his sword and, like, starts swinging it as the creature that is an Eamon. And, like, it's getting real close. And she does manage to, like, swipe at it and kill it. So, Asar wakes up and asks where she is. And she's like, you mean, where are we? But he says, no, like, I'm in a certain place in my mind. Where are you? And she's like, oh, to me, we're in Vostis, which is her hometown. So, like, she is seeing one place, he is seeing another place, and it's just, like, painted on top of the actual topography of the landscape. So, like, if there's a hill in this dimension, then her landscape would feature in a hill, even if the original Citadel and the original Vostis, like, didn't have a hill.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It is, but it feels very complex when I explain it.
Yes.
So, obviously, both of them are super drained and super injured after, like, fighting off a bajillion wraiths and Ophelia and Malik. And Asar doesn't reveal what he sees. He just tells her that they are in the Sanctum of Secrets, and it's all about desires and shame.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he tells her that soul eaters can mimic what you want to see in order to eat you. They'll, like, lure you where they can eat you. Which, again, I thought the soul eaters eated the wraiths, not the living people.
I guess both.
So she asks if the souls they saw at Esme's were soul eaters. But he says, no, they were wraiths. So she's like, well, shit, my sister's there. Because I guess she was hoping that, well, maybe that was a soul eater, like, trying to look like her sister to, to lure her away. But no. He's like, no, they were all wraiths. So
Which, unfortunately.
Yeah, she's like, shit, that means my sister was there. So they get up and they start walking down the path in the forest. And, like, Mische is really not well at all. And Asar is concerned, but she just brushes him off. I think she was touched a lot, maybe, by wraiths. Like,
oh, true. Well, she was choked by Malik for quite some time, I guess.
Yeah, so, and, like, they were fighting them off and everything like that. So, you know, I do think both of them have significant injuries. But, so, Asar's like, you're not well. And she's like, no, it's fine. We have to go. Like, we're in a rush, are we not? And they have to go to what she sees as the Citadel. Like, that's sort of the temple that they need to go to. But she can, like, they just walk, and Asar's like, can we please stop? And she's just being stubborn. Because she's like, no, we have to keep going. she's feeling really embarrassed about what happened with them and about her, like, wanting him.
Mm-hmm.
So she's feeling super embarrassed. So, like, she doesn't want to stop because then she thinks they might, like, talk or do something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
But, like, she is barely able to stay up. And, like, Asara's leaking blood. And Mischa's, like, painfully aware of each drop dripping off of his body. And then he gets mad at her for being, like, self-sacrificing. And she's like, you're the one who wanted to go on this adventure knowing that you probably die.
Yeah.
But then she, like, faints. And, like, before she passes out, he calls her Mische instead of Elias. And she's like, you only do that when you're worried about me. So, in a daze, like, I guess she wakes up a little bit later, and she remembers Asara helping her walk while he is also struggling to stay upright. And Lucy leads them through the forest to somewhere hopefully safe. Asara, like, reopens a wound on a branch, which makes Mische sort of bite her lip. And she is so hungry. And then she bit her lip, so blood is running down her chin. That makes Asara stare at her. He's equally hungry. And I guess she's, like, sort of in and out of consciousness. And the next time she comes to, she's lying on the floor of, like, at first she thinks it's a cave. But then she realizes it's actually, like, a really, really, really crappy Morthryn room in disrepair. There's, like, a rotting couch, and there's a coffee table, and there's a dresser, and, like, the ceiling is cracked, and it lets in little bits of sky. So Asara just tells her that Lucy is guarding the entrance, but he thinks that they'll be safe here, and he doesn't think Soul Eaters will come here. And again,
that's good.
I made a note that I don't understand how they became the enemy, because in body they ate wraiths and weren't bothered by them. But now all of a sudden they're bad. Anyway. Nevertheless, he does put wards on the archway and comes back, and they sit down together, and he tells Mische that she needs to have a drink. And
like an alcoholic drink?
That would be hilarious if he, like, just cracked out, like, a flask or something that he had.
Yeah.
It's like,
that'd be so good.
Wait, let me get some ice. So she tries to brush him off because, again, like, she is a person of the cloth. So she does pride herself on her ability to deny herself things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he is not going to take no for an answer, so he rolls up his sleeve for her. And she just doesn't understand how he smells so good. But she does still refuse. And she's like, no, I'll go get an animal or something. And he's like, there are no animals down here. Yeah. He's like, we're the only two alive things for, like, ages. Mm-hmm. And he is the only one with blood down here. And she actually admits to him that she has never drank from live prey before.
That's wild.
So, like, what does she do with the animals?
She kills them first. No, I don't know. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I guess you can... I don't get it.
I mean, she's always...
I guess she kills animals and takes their blood.
She's always drinking from a wine glass.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how she gets away with it at all the parties and stuff. She's being demure. But, like, if she has experience hunting animals, I don't know how she doesn't have them alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand. And then, like, if somebody else gets her blood... Like, the blood that she drank that Asara had, did he kill somebody to get that blood? Is she not counting that?
I guess not.
Yeah. I don't know.
So he just has to remind her that she's gonna die if she doesn't have any of his blood. And she finally admits that she's worried Atraxas will hate her. And not because of drinking blood, but because how much she wants to drink blood. So again, sort of the same thing we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
That it's the sin is in her want, really. It's the fact that she wants it. And she just says she's worried he will smell the corruption on her soul. And I just feel so bad.
I know.
So she thinks to herself that, like, even now her loyalty is like a dirty, cracked thing that was barely worth keeping. So she doesn't want to fall out of his good graces. So Asar tells her that he won't let her die because she's too ashamed to live. And that she is magnificence. And it would be a shame to throw that away because the sun told her to hate herself. And I'm like, yes, Asar, preach.
He's good with words.
Is good with words. So she starts to pass out, and he just pulls her onto his lap and puts his neck, like, right on her mouth for her to drink. And she really wants to do it. So she tells him she's only going to have 5 pulls, like 5 gulps.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, you'll take 10 because you really need it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, oh, okay. So she bites down, and, like, she has never felt so on fire before. And she realizes that a vampire shouldn't feel or taste this good. So again, like, I didn't realize that they could get sustenance from each other.
I doesn't make any sense to me at all.
This was what I was thinking of when we were talking about that.
I know, but I will forever be stuck by, like, I guess the vampires here are different. Maybe they do make their own blood.
Well, if you can be born, because they can have children and be born.
Yeah.
So maybe that's... Oh.
It just seems like it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that you can just eat each other and be fine.
Yeah, I guess.
It
is weird.
Yeah.
It's just like a blood transfusion.
Yeah. Back and forth.
Yes.
Like it's the same blood.
Yeah. They're not losing or gaining any more than what they have.
Yeah. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
But 'tis what 'tis.
It is, yeah. So she just keeps drinking. She takes these long, slow pulls, and she's starting to get turned on. And he's holding on to her real tight, and she is still in that flimsy nightgown. And, like, she can feel his erection through his pants, and, like, it's getting her real hot and bothered. And she thinks, like, oh, maybe this is the vampire venom that's causing the sexual attraction. Because, like, they do it, and that's how humans feel.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, I didn't think that would affect vampires. Like,
yeah, because it should be affecting him, not her, too.
Yes. So she puts her hand under his shirt, and then he puts his hand on her butt. And, like, she knows that they're sort of playing this dangerous game, but, like, she's like, no, I'm still gonna play it. So she moves her hand, like, down to graze his hard length before taking the 10 gulps and stopping. And they're both breathing really heavy. And it's, like, the most turned on that that they get from nothing.
That we get it.
Just using my third person here. No, my second. No, first person plural. My bad. I'm trying to use my first person plural.
All good.
So he doesn't So, like, she offers herself to him, being like, you also need to drink. So, like, swapsies. And he's like, it's not a good idea. You, like, you're pretty weak here. But, like, also, they're both pretty revved up, and I think he's trying to, like, maybe put a distance there. Mm-hmm. But she just tells him that he needs it. So she just leans against the couch, and he climbs on top of her. And the way, so, like, it's like she is lying down, and he is lying on top of her. And I'm like, this is a terrible position for blood drinking. Like, this is the key issue right here. Like, don't position yourself like this if you don't want to have sex. It just felt really like, oh, well, this position makes it so they can have sex super easy.
Yeah. So they should.
Yeah. Oh, I think they should. But, like, she is very still. She is still very much in the, I'm a bride of the sun. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I just found the position was just, like, encouraging him to slip it in. So she's got, like, blood dripping down her chest from when, I guess it's, like, from when she nom nommed on him.
Nom nom.
Yeah. And so she offers her throat to him, and the first thing he does is lick the blood off of her boob that had fallen down there. And she really wants to kiss him, but, like, she doesn't because of, again, of her vows. And he tells her he's only going to take 5 because she's too weak for him to take more. And when he bites her, she just wants to, like, climb him like a thing of ivy. She just wants to ivy herself and wrap around him. And so she tells him to, like, slow down because I guess he's going fast and they want to postpone. They want to make it, draw it out as long as possible.
Last.
And, like, this is sort of the only way she can have him. She can't, like, have him legit. But this is a way that she can because they're just sustaining each other. So, all of a sudden, somehow her nightgown is, like, pushed up around her waist. And she's bare to him because she obviously has no panties on.
Well, the house didn't give her panties. Also, really, is she just naked because is the clothes even real?
Yeah. That too. Oh. So she's bare to him, and she wants him to push into her. And like I said, he is lined up, ready to go because of the positioning. But she does think of Sasha and what Sasha would say, that she is a bride of the sun and must not betray him. But, like, she really, really wants to.
Yeah.
So their magic is, like, swirling around them, and the smoke tendrils are running along her and, like, helping, get her all hot and bothered. And he really wants to be inside her, but he knows that that's going to betray her vows. So instead, he grabs her hand and puts it on herself. As he takes his last gulp, she climaxes from, like, rubbing herself. So
it's super similar to the first book in the series when Aurea feeds Rain and then she comes.
Yeah.
In a cave.
I don't really remember that.
It's in, like, the ruins of her hometown.
Oh, yeah. When
in the cave.
One of them are, like,
their son.
One of them is, like, poisoned or something.
I think it was just the son, and then there were, like, wolves or something.
And, like, he needed to be healed or something.
He needed to drink her blood. She was like, go for it. Yeah. But then she got so turned on.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So, afterwards, they are lying together on this really crappy couch. And he's, like, trying to get up, but she just asks him to stay. And so he does. And they sleep together on the couch. And she thinks that this act of, like, them sleeping together on the couch is actually what feels the most forbidden. And it's like, yeah, because you've got the feels.
Yeah.
And, like, this is an intimate moment, you guys sleeping together. So they wake up in the morning and she's like, oh, he is so handsome. And she knows that their act was a sin. But she's like, it's also something I want to do again. And
of course.
Yeah. And she just remembers that her old sect used to, like, warn them and say that desire begets desire and sin begets sin, which, like, makes her nauseous. So she's, like, thinking to herself these teachings of, if you sin once, you're going to want to sin again. And she's already like, oh, last night was a sin, but I can't wait to do it again. So, like, she's sort of seeing the validity in those words.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets up. She feels better than yesterday. So her wounds are closed. She's got more energy. And, like, he does too. But she's just trying to remember what her mission is. And I guess he wakes up and they're talking and she's really bright and like, no, everything's fine. No, I'm fine. So that makes him, of course, wonder what's up. So I guess she's like, come on, let's get on the go. So they manage to rifle through the drawers in this, like, temporary one-room Morthryn. So they find clothes that fit Mische. I guess he doesn't need clothes.
Well, he wasn't wearing a slip, I guess.
Good point.
So he got a bath and then just put his clothes back on, but...
know what he had on, to be fair. Maybe the house provided, but, like...
provided him with not sexy clothes.
Maybe.
He came down in a thong, I hope.
So, he points to what appears to her as the Citadel, but he calls it a castle. So this is something we still don't know, is what he sees while they're out gallivanting around.
I want to know.
Me too. So she, like, I guess because he called it a castle, it's proving to her that he sees something different. And I'm like, I thought we already established that.
Yeah.
But then she's like, oh, you mean the Shadowborn castle? And he's like, yeah.
That's exactly how I imagined it too. Yeah. Yeah, that castle.
So, like...
But it is like, okay, so which other castle is it?
I'm wondering if it was, like, Morthryn himself. Because isn't it supposed to be, like...
Oh.
Isn't it supposed to be...
Yeah.
The place that you, like, love the most or are most comforted or whatever?
Yeah, that's a good point. I like it.
So they keep walking through the forest, and she feels that, like, even though this place is designed to seem like her home, there are problems with the illusion. So she says, like, the forest smells too sticky sweet, and the sun that filters through the trees should feel warm, but it doesn't. And, like, she just says it doesn't feel like home anymore. And in my head, I'm like, is it because you have a new, like, person to call home?
Yeah.
Or is it primarily because she feels betrayed?
Yeah. Because she literally was like, he feels like home.
Yeah.
So that's a very different thing. Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's it for this week. Yeah, if you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, you can reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So next week we will be finishing The Songbird in the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, chapters 34 to the end. So make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.